Hello, welcome to Stratus podcast, a regular Nordcloud podcast about cloud with Paul Stapley and Vitor Domingos.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Vitor.
And a new setup again. I was just trying.
I like these.
Yes,
These look professional.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah.
We're just trying to do things a bit different from the. If you are watching this, you can see the microphones are in a different setup. If you're just listening, well, I hope that you can feel the difference on the.
You can hear the difference.
Exactly.
I would imagine. I hope.
Yeah. So for today, we have two themes. The first one is about shadow IT. We discussed that last episode.
Yep.
Companies are spending a lot of money on the shadow IT.
Yes.
But also, and because last week we were on the Microsoft Azure partner event.
Yes.
In Reading, we also going to discuss that kind of high level because it was closed door just for partners. So we can share a lot detail.
Yes. Yes. Two things I would say. Shadow IT. I hear that 50% of IT spend is shadow IT. Mm-hmm. That's quite amazing. So it might be worth just talking about what is shadow IT, what do we mean by that, and why does it happen. The partner day at Microsoft, you're quite right, but actually it was a bit more than Azure. It was Modern Workplace and BizApps, but clearly the bit we were interested in was Azure. But that would be interesting to talk about as well.
Yes. So shadow IT. Gartner says that companies are spending between 20 to 50% of on shadow IT.
Wow.
And shadow IT is things that are not in the plan because people try to get over the border, try to buy from themselves new services, new products.
So the question has to be why? Why do they do that?
Well, first of all, because of the software as a service, right? We democratized how people consume services, how people consume products. So instead of going through the normal procurement life cycles and procedures that are kind of expensive and heavy and take a long time to have, people just pick up the credit card and go online. They buy a new service.
So it's easier for them to access services.
It is.
Okay.
It is easier, and because people then companies can try new products, they can experiment. Let's see if this one will work better for workplace or something else that we're going to do, and then they if that doesn't work, they're going to try a new one. And because everything can be connected, I can have a single sign-on between all of those platforms, so it's easier to share information between this kind of software as a service, and it's also easier because of the credit card and because of access and the democratization of this service to buy them, to have access to it, which brings then to a problem when it comes to managing IT, because these things usually get out of the scope of a normal IT operations.
Yeah, because I was about to ask. I mean, it sounds good. You have agility, you can manage your own destiny, you can get past those roadblocks that exist within your organization to make things happen. So isn't that a good thing? What is the downside?
Well, the downside is about compliance, about managing risk, and about security. And
so not insignificant issues.
Exactly. Because let's in the traditional way, every time we would get a new service, let's say from Oracle or SAP or something more heavier than that, what would happen is that they would go through the normal procurement services, and then they would get to the IT folks, right? So that they can have a proper assessment of a tool that can be deployed, that can be managed, that could be secured, and that will go through the normal process. So between having the need of to have a product and have actually the product in hand, it would take a few months, right, to set up the whole thing.
Absolutely, yeah.
With software as a service, you have the need now, and tomorrow everyone has already a login. But then the problem comes with where the data resides. What kind of data are we putting there? Is it private? Is it with the client? Is it going to be secure? So it's a lot of questions.
So it's ungoverned. It is a bit like the Wild West.
It is. Yeah. So and usually this this kind of software as a service, when compared to how traditionally companies operate, they get out of the compliance world because most of them, we don't pay attention of the terms and conditions, right? Whoever read the whole.
No, you just tick the box. Exactly. Tick the box. Accept. Move on.
So that's a huge problem with the shadow IT, and usually that. But there are some ways to overcome that. Obviously, I discussed that this will create an issue with security. Usually, security is the last one to know that everyone is using a new tool. But also from an architectural point of view, having a bunch of tools that can do the same thing, it's not easy to manage.
Yep.
Then we'll create a burden because when we have 3, 4, 5, whatever tools just to do the same capability, then it becomes part of the system. Then we deliver that to the IT people for them to manage. And after a while, they're managing 5 tools just to do one thing that in the past was just one tool.
Yes.
So that's the problem that creates for companies. And that's right now has gotten put between 20 and 50% of the whole spending of a company.
So you can't ignore it.
No, you can't. And sometimes you don't know how much you're spending because it's credit card. It's a cheap service. It doesn't go through the normal channels of procurement of buying stuff. So everyone can do that, right? Everyone can put that in as a monthly expense.
And we've seen that, right? I mean, that has, in some of the companies that we've worked with, given cloud a bad name to some extent.
It is. But on the other hand, it gives them agility to do whatever they need, whenever they need it. Yeah. That's the big advantage of going with software as a service or platform as a service, infrastructure as a service, everything as a service.
Yes.
Gives that flexibility and agility to operate overnight. Now, shadow IT, how we overcome that? First of all, and probably this is going to be sound too weird, but I don't think we're going to have just one solution. I don't think we're going to fix it. If probably the only way to fix it is cut or have proper cost centers.
Yes.
So allocate costs to a specific team and pay attention to the budget, whatever they're spending, and what kind of stuff are they actually buying, so that if they don't have access to funds, if they don't have access to a credit card, then they're not going to buy any kind of other software. That's the first issue. But as you've seen, people start using free stuff, which is even worse because if you don't pay for it, then you're the service.
Yes.
Then it starts being a shadow IT issue. It starts being a security issue.
Yes.
But control the budget, control the spending that teams are doing, and put practical compliance steps into it. So instead of looking for a tool in the market, just map the capabilities that you actually need, right? What do I need to do my job now? I have 5 different products. Which one will fit my current need? And adopt that one. And put that as a practice to the entire team, group, company that we operate in. Just put that as a practice and say, well, listen, we have this one. Obviously, everyone can have their own, but we have this one that follows our internal compliance and security procedures, and we already had paid attention to it. We know how the whole thing operates, so it's something that you can use if you want to use it.
So it's really, I mean, I suppose there's 2 things I would say is that one, it just talks back to the need for governance. So that's just governing new services that your company has adopted. So I think everyone understands that concept, and you can do that within the construct of a steering group or a team or a competence center, whatever it happens to be. But I get your point about it not eradicating, because you then govern new services, but then other services creep in underneath. I mean, it's a continuous thing, isn't it? You just got to be on top of this and just educate your workforce, I guess, and really just try and make sure that you don't let that, I suppose, that percentage just grow. I mean, that's the danger here.
It is. So pay attention to the. Are you okay? Should we stop this?
I'm very emotional about this subject.
I can see that.
I mean, just the time to get a cough.
So continuous monitoring of the entire of what people are actually doing, but monitoring will not just solve the issue. It's actually put the right compliance and have a look at the tools that people are actually using. Pay attention for that. It's not just because because I've seen this in the past where people will say, I don't, let's say, we're not allowed to use Gmail. So we're going to cut access to Gmail. Then people forget, well, people have access to Gmail on phones.
Yes.
So the shadow IT continues on their
Yes.
personal device, not on the professional device. So it's just a matter of accept what people are using, but put practices into it. Think about data. Think about security. If that's already thought, and people can look at it and say, well, listen, I have 5 products. These ones follow the compliance that we require from our architecture team, so we can pick one of those. That's okay, but follow a process. Shadow IT, it's being used as a bad term.
Yes.
But it helps a lot of companies to overcome their current difficulties.
It does, and I think that's the way to see it. Is not to see it as the enemy, but to see it as, okay, so why is this happening? What are the benefits that it drives? Make sure that you then just have to, like you say, wrap the governance and the compliance and the security around it, and adopt it properly within the organisation. But it's a continuous process. Because the rate of innovation means there's going to be lots of new services that your employees are going to look at and decide that that's going to help them in their day-to-day work, and trying to hold back against that will be an impossible task. So it's just the new paradigm that we live in, and I guess it's become more prominent in recent years, but I think it should be seen as a force for change and innovation rather than a threat to the organisation. But of course it is a threat if you don't do anything about it, which is the key part.
Exactly. Right. Shadow IT.
Yes.
Hopefully that that's okay now.
Well, I think at least we've I've got over the cough, and
and we can move to your favorite subject, which is the Azure Partner event that we went to Reading last time.
Yes. Well, I'll tell you once more, it wasn't just Azure, but it was. We had an invitation to go down to see Microsoft last Friday, and that was an invitation extended to a number of partners looking at Azure and Biz Apps and Modern Workplace, so not just Azure, but that's really what we were interested in. And really, really great to, I suppose, spend time with the Microsoft partner team, but also some of the people that are directly involved in the sales initiative in the areas of interest for those partners. And it was a good day. They kept it quite short, which is always good because you've got to travel out to Reading, which if you live on the south coast like me is a bit of a way. But I really liked it. It was explaining the new strategy. There's a lot of slideware. We can't talk about a lot of that. Has to remain in the room, which is fair enough. But I think essentially that as an organisation, it's a big organisation that you've been used to working in a certain way, and I think the whole consumption model has really, forced the organisation to really address how do they go to market. And I think that what was really interesting is that some of the changes that they're making for what they refer to as full year 20, which is the period of time we're in now that runs around till next summer. Those changes are very much in line with, I think, the way in which partners work and the customers want to work, which is much more on a project type basis. I think the whole concept of Microsoft trying to understand, okay, what is that need that we want to address? How do we bring cloud to help with that? How do we bring in a partner much earlier in the process to bring their expertise in? Because the conversations are becoming much more technical than ever, and so you want to bring those specialist partners in. Was really good to hear, and I think it went down very well. It seemed to resonate with the audience. I think everybody there would like to get involved in sales opportunities much earlier, to help really bring that experience and understanding to the customer and really try and drill down to what they need. It was a good day.
What really surprised me, kind of two things. Well, three. The last one, you might not remember, but I remember. So the two main things was, first of all, the numbers that they share with us, that we can share with everyone, but they share the numbers when it comes to growth around the Azure world, the workplace, all of that we heard. Quite impressive,
very
to be honest.
Very impressive.
We can mention that, but I was impressed with that. And the second thing was when I heard that all of their sales team is doing technical certification.
Yes.
All of them.
Yes.
They need to be technical savvy. They need to understand what are they doing, and they need to know, rather than just, well, we're going to sell you something.
Exactly.
We need to have that kind of technical background. So they are also doing this kind of transformation across the sales team and the account team to have the technical certification. I was surprised with that.
Yeah, I think they refer
some
to
of
that.
It's really complicated to do, and if they can do that, I'm really surprised.
Yes. I think they refer to it as technical intensity. So they're looking to take all of the partner teams and the sales teams to level 200 technical education level, which I think just reflects really what we all know, that you don't get too far into sales opportunities without really having to dig into that tech, and it's important for everybody to be able to feel comfortable at a higher level than ever before. So that there's a bit that they're really going for it, absolutely,
which is really good. In 2 weeks' time, there's going to be Microsoft Future Decoded at Excel.
Yes,
I'm going to be there.
Yes, good.
It's closer to home, really close. So. Not sure if you're going to be there, but I'm going to be there.
I think I will. It's nowhere near where I live, but I will be there.
I know. Microsoft Decoded, and the last thing that I saw at the event was that that toy that was in the lobby. Remember that one from the Xbox?
Yes.
That we tried to take, but it was too heavy. They have a really nice campus there, and I heard that kind of downsizing because they're using the modern workplace.
Yes.
A lot of people working remotely,
yes.
which is also good.
Yes.
And we use a lot that and Nordcloud as well, because we work with other countries and our resources can work everywhere we want. So when it comes also to resources and team, we're gonna have a kind of something to share with our audience. We kind of convinced 2 of our resources here in the UK, valuable resources from the wider team, to do a podcast as well.
Yes.
Which is going to be the last week in Azure.
Yes. Or even probably not as often as that. I think maybe I look back at the last month in Azure. So a couple of our guys that are, day to day doing customer delivery work, and it would be very interesting, I think, to hear about their experiences, and also to show a few new faces into this little podcast.
Hi, I'm Harry Israel, lead Azure architect for Nordcloud UK, and I'll be bringing you, along with my colleague Joe, the Last Month in Azure podcast. Look forward to seeing you all.
And for our next episode, the themes will be about cloud economics, which you are a big fan, and data operations, which is going to be about using data and data lakes and whatever we can put on there.
A good contrast.
But in the meantime, I'm going to be in Helsinki, in Finland, talking to our group CEO and head of professional services, and probably that's not going to be a proper episode for a podcast, but it will be some interviews that we're going to probably comment on and discuss that afterwards.
So absolutely, it'd be very interesting to hear their view, and let's have fun.
Expand the Stratus podcast to other countries as well.
Yeah, absolutely. No, good on you. Yeah.
Okay.
Take a coat. It's probably colder than it is here, or maybe not. I don't.
We'll see about that next week. Okay.
Great.
Excellent.
Thanks very much.
Thanks.
Till the next time.